Hello. Today, I'm gonna show you how to load the cursors, like that would be in your normal cursor scheme. So here, I'm gonna show you. So this is this is a cursor scheme I'm using. I'm gonna show you how to use these cursors. There's like ones like this. How to use them in your Windows Form application. Now, I'm not talking about anything else. I'm talking about specifically Windows Forms. Unfortunately, it takes a little bit of, code to do it. Or you can take a shortcut and use this DLL I made called Registry Cursors. The link to download will be in the description. Anyways, let me show you the code before I start this. Now, I have a boolean called DLL that that tells the program, like, either, hey, we're not using the DLL, or, hey, we're going to use the DLL. So, as you can see, if you use the DLL, it's a lot less code. Yeah. I forgot to put comments here. I only put comments here that way, while I'm talking, if you decide to look at this, it'll show you. But I'm still going to explain. So this load cursor from file, I'm not entirely sure how that part works. The DLL I made is just based off my limited knowledge of this, but thankfully, it works perfectly. But this creates a handle, which is like the memory address in your computer. It creates that from the file, or the file path. Magic. Yeah. And then, so with the DLL I made, the get cursor path, there's an enum, which, it's this, and these two. It's all those cursors. So you see these paths right here? Basically what it does is, in the code of the DLL itself, there's a thing called it uses a class called the registry, and then from the registry, it does current user dot open subkey control panel dot open subkey cursors, and then from the cursors, we do not go into schemes, we just stay here, and then we do get value, and then a string, which returns this as an object, but you gotta do the value name of this. And it's a lot of code, messy, well, not messy, but I had to hard code a lot of stuff, that way I could actually easily retrieve it. I'm doing an enumeration, that way you can easily retrieve everything. And the load from path uses some fancy code to create a cursor from the string, which, here's how that works. It uses this function to create the handle to then load the cursor from that handle. You punch in the path, creates the handle, then you create the cursor from that handle, and boom. It's only a few lines of code for this part. It's very simple. For this part, not so much. And then, this is just stuff that has to deal with the interface. That's really all this part does. And then this, well, it's better if you look at the comments rather than I explain it. I'm gonna just sit here for a little bit. A few seconds of silence so you can read the comments. Okay, hopefully you paused, because I don't think that was enough time. Anyways, I'm not gonna explain this, because, yeah, that's what the comments are for. The load cursor. Now that, you just click the button when I show you the UI. File dialog pops up, and then this part changes the label that shows the path, a picture box that shows what it looks like, and then a button, you hover over, and then it shows you what the cursor looks like. This is the, with the registry cursor, this is, like that. That's pretty much what it is. You can probably tell if you do it yourself rather than with the DLL, it's a bit longer. I am going to be implementing I'm going to be adding a new function where you can convert the cursor to a bitmap or create a bitmap from the cursor file path. That way, you can do some fancy stuff. Now this, just a function that creates the cursor into a bitmap. It uses graphics. Now the thing is, it does not handle the transparency very well, and by very well I mean at all. So if there's any like translucent pixels, like say green or red or black, it's gonna do a solid like an alpha of 255. It's gonna do that, which is really annoying. Which can kind of give away where the shadow of a cursor is. Anyways, I'm gonna show you the program in action. So the DLL boolean is currently set to false. So this is what it's gonna be like, and this is what it is like when it's doing the actual pure code. You have hover me. It doesn't look different because this is my normal cursor. As you can see, the path. This is not built. This is not hard coded. As you can see, it actually loads it. And I do not have a string. See, it actually loads it from the code itself. Oh, there it is. And then you have load cursor. As you can see, I have that fancy little link cursor. Yeah, I wanted to do that because I think it looks fancy. Now, I already have a directory with a bunch of cursors selected. This is actually one of the cursor schemes I have already loaded on my computer. If I do smooth arrow, it's just like a smoothened anti-alias version of the Windows cursor schemes with the tails being a little bit longer. As you can see, that's the shadow, and like I said, it does not handle transparency at all, so it just draws a solid version of the pixel. I know it's unfortunate, it's just, I just wanted a quick way to show it up on a image. That's the picture box. Ta-da. There you go. As you can see, the path it's not hard-coded, it actually does load it. For me, as you can tell, it's, this is my normal cursor. This is this cursor. And to show you, I'm going to do... where's the hand? Now that is that cursor. Now this is my normal link cursor. But this... Ta-da. Now this has no events because you're just supposed to hover over it. But as you can see, normal cursor. This cursor. But, bitmap does not handle the transparency on the bitmap. So... it draws it like that, but when we do the cursor itself, it's normal. And this does work with animated and any static file. If you do a color, I'm pretty sure it'll do it. Well, actually, let me test that real quick. I have a neon rainbow. Let me just, red. Yeah, red. Yeah, that's kind of ugly, but, oh, yeah, see? It does, yeah. It handles color well. Unfortunately, though, with the bitmap, it's kind of ugly. Oh, okay, ignore that. You have to, if the path is really long, then, it'll, blank out the, it considers all of this one entire word. But if you have, a space between it, it'll consider it multiple words. So that's why when I do that, it's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful with the code. Not really me describing it or showing you, but just, you seeing the code. I'd recommend you use the DLL I made. That way you don't have to go through the pain of it, unless you're a tryhard and like to, do it all yourself. That's fine. That's fine. It's just, I recommend you use my DLL so your life can be easier. Because the DLL does it all for you. Well, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye. And maybe subscribe.